faces, and this is actually pretty crazy. I mean, I didn't realize we're at 26 minutes into this game. Not a lot has happened. Only 9,000 minerals lost for the Zerg player, 8,000 lost for the Terran. A lot of times at this point in the game, it'll be up in like 25,000. But not in this game. They're just playing so timid as far as StarCraft 2 is concerned. Like, they're playing super timid. I mean, usually players will be a lot more aggressive than this, although he is flying around with Mass Muta trying to make something happen, but he is just a couple Thor volleys away from his demise. Although siege tanks, if they're in bad positioning, he can snipe them one by one by one by one. He already has whittled them down a little bit, although now there is 18 siege tanks on the field. This is what I'm talking about, is 4 or 5, it looks like 6 siege tanks, very vulnerable to an attack here. Although this Thor does have 4 kills, and there are enough Vikings here to push this back. Always want to draw attention to the 9 range of the Viking, making them fairly easy to micro against the Mutas. Although if these can get a fungal growth off on the Vikings, that could turn the tide of this game in a second, but I don't know if he's going to. Usually you won't see Infestors holding down a watchtower because they have 90 HP, so they don't last very long. They do technically count as armored, which I always thought to be interesting, that those units were counted as armored. So, okay, so I guess we're just going to kind of wait here for these players to, I guess, decide to attack, because both players are basically maxed out. It looks like our Zerg player at 179, not technically at 200. I believe this is the laughing word in Korea, so they're probably laughing about how ridiculous this game is. And actually continuing to get more siege tanks. He is now up to 19 siege tanks, which again is another thing that is extremely rare in StarCraft 2. Very rarely will you see that many tanks. And transfusing, I guess, just because he has queens with additional energy, and you might as well heal them up, even though you have 6,000 minerals to replace them, and needs to work on getting some upgrades as well. Could potentially get a greater spire, although there are so many Vikings, I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not. They're just all sitting here in formation, bored out of their mind, wondering what is going on in this game with these players. And what is their APM right now? Yeah, it's actually pretty low for Korean players for the most part. So they're just kind of sitting back, not sure what to do. There's really no weakness in the Terran's fortifications. I mean, look, he has basically the entire map split in half. Not a lot you can do against this, although if you attack one point with everything, you can potentially breach the defenses. But for now, I don't know. There is going to be a Raven with Seeker Missile. Not that bad of an idea, because Seeker Missile, for those of you who don't know, it basically does an insane amount of splash damage. And apparently these Marines are canceling all of these Spine Crawlers single-handedly. And then, yeah, you can see the wind. Not happy about that, as he's trying to set up his own defense. Oh man, you know what I just realized is I've been casting for 3 hours, and this game is currently at the half-minute mark, or not half-minute, but half-hour mark, and I don't know if there's any chance of this game being over anytime soon, so I'm adjusting myself in my seat. I am in it for the long haul. This could potentially be one of the longest games I've ever cast, because I don't see how either player can just win right now. We have every upgrade in existence right now on the way for the Terran player, and he is turtled in harder than I have ever seen. He is like a turtle in his shell inside a bunker that is underground, that is on another planet, that is protected by 2 planetary fortresses, that is protected by some all-knowing power, and that is how difficult it would be to get into the Terran's base right now. This is absolutely insane. There's even a random missile turret over here. I mean, why not at this point? Why not just throw down a random missile turret? And, oh, could have got fungal growth right there, which that would have been no fun for those Vikings. The Vikings do have that 3 attack and just every upgrade in the book. We finally have some Ultralists on the way. Not a bad choice. And the Zerg player is once again going to be maxed out here. Although, let's just take a look at the units. We have 3 Thors, 15 Vikings, 19 Siege Tanks, 28 Marines, and 2 Ravens versus 6 Zerglings, 4 Ultralists, 21 Mutalisks, 28 Roaches, 26 Banelings, 2 Infestors, and 3 Queens. Now, it's the creep spreading is actually absolutely hilarious right now, as he's really sitting back not doing anything, and his creep spread is like terrible. And sometimes we see games where these Zerg players spread creep to the entire map, and sometimes we will see it where they almost never spread it. Now, it looks like another command center going down for MakaPrime. Not that there's even anywhere for him to expand. He could potentially just make this into a planetary fortress and GK. So one thing you'll see players do a lot of the time is get planetary fortress, and I mean, at this point, what are you going to spend your minerals on? We're at 8,000 minerals for the Zerg player, 7,800 for the Terran player. So they're continuing to talk Korean. I don't know exactly what it is they have planned here, but both of them are maxed out. I'm just going to speed it up. I think this is warranted. A couple SCVs going to be trying to attack this. which that is not going to work because there is a spine crawler there with 7 kills, and all that was doing though was to free up supply for the Terran player to get out a couple more units. And usually when you speed it up in ×2, you expect something to happen right away. But looking at the production tab, we do have Neural Parasites, Zerg Flyer Attack level 3, Fungal Growthing on the Command Center SCV right here, so he is not going to die. He does have 9 HP remaining, and so 2 Fungal Growths used on that Command Center, but another SCV, of course, is going to be pulled off the line to defend it. This one's actually getting morphed into an Orbital Command. That is interestingly surprising. So they're using like 1 unit at a time here to try and, I guess, just annoy each other. Not that it really matters. So more SCVs running down here. That's just to free up more supply. The Zerglings potentially to free up supply as well. They're currently at 12,000 minerals. And even... Oh, snap! He's going to have to mind control this guy 800 times. But he did just mind control in SCV. Now, I do want to talk about this a second. Oh, man, I definitely have never seen this before. Basically, how this works, Neural Parasite, it mind controls it for a short duration, which you can see right here, 15 seconds. And if it's a Terran player, you have to continue mind controlling the SCV to continue making the Command Center. And the, oh, Banshee over here, is this the same Banshee? She does have 10 kills, and we do need an Overseer, which is just now flying over here. So anyways, you have to mind control the SCV over and over and over, and then even if he makes the Command Center, you share the supply. Oh! Whoops, the Baneling killed us. So now he has a Command Center awkwardly just kind of sitting here. And potentially could mind control this one, though. And maybe they're just letting each other mind control it. I think that's exactly what he's doing. Or he's trying to bait over the Infestors to blast them away with the Siege Tank. Anyway, so if you were to finish this Command Center, you still only get 200 supply with total. In StarCraft 1, if you mind controlled an SCV or whatever, it added an additional 200 supply that you could make with the Terran units. And so, for now, in StarCraft 2, though, you can't do that. So that Command Center is just going to sit here for a little while. These SCVs are going to come down here and start attacking this. Now, he could potentially mind control these. That has so many Infestors right now. Got a Fungal Growth that, which will take it out of that cloak and blast it away there. And these SCVs are probably just going to get mind controlled. I'm pretty sure they're just doing it to be nice because, I mean, at this point, they obviously aren't going to be able to do anything against that Command Center. Or maybe he just really doesn't notice it, but I somehow don't think so. So a couple of medevacs can go down. I'm pretty sure these guys are just toying with each other at this point because there's no way that this is actually a very serious game. I mean, at this point, oh, no, SCVs are getting pulled off the line. They are going to try to attack the Command Center. I don't know where the Mutalisks are. They're probably going to fly over here. Look at this, SCVs attacking Infestors, and he did finish the Command Center, and he is going to lift it off and fly it away, but the Command Center cannot land on creep. Oh, do we have something going on here? He's got to try and kill it with the Vikings, but the Mutalisks are going to fly over here to defend it. He wants to save this for all it's worth. I don't know if there's an achievement for doing this, but he definitely wants to get that achievement regardless of what it is. And so he is going to land that Command Center over there. It's kind of like a infested Command Center from StarCraft 1, but this time you get full control over it. And now they're talking about something, again, I'm not quite sure. They must just be having a dandy old time in this game. And these Vikings are going to be chilling out over here. He's not going to fly around and try and find that Command Center. The SCV has been made. Is he going to make a barracks? Or he actually has to make the supply depot first. But what are you doing, Thor? Just running in here. He doesn't even care anymore. He is so bored that he's going to die of boredom. And the siege tanks, there we go. I'm just going to keep this sped up for now because there's still not even that much going on. Aside from an Overseer dying. Oh, Fungal Growth did go down, though, on these Vikings, which is going to allow the Mutalisks to fly in here to kill several of the Vikings. And, of course, it does soften them up because it does do damage. But there are enough Mutas here to push this back, but the Vikings with that range of 9 are going to slowly kill every single one of these. A little more Fungal Growth, which you might as well soften them up if you can, which is exactly what we saw right there, and that does hold them in place as well. Which, how a bunch of goop holds a flying unit in place is beyond me, but it really does effectively work against these Vikings. Going to be softening them up quite a bit. They're exploding left and right. Boom, boom. It looks so cool, and they explode from Fungal Growth. Boom. And are you going to die? Nope, you survive with 1 HP. So there is the barracks right now. He's actually making multiple SCVs. Wants to make sure not to make too many, though, so that his supply count doesn't get too high. Now, we do have battle cruisers on the way, as well as drones. Usually, you will not see a drone and a barracks being made at the same time. That is definitely unique. And look at this, actually making missile turrets down here just for fun. I'm guessing this game is just for lulz. I will have to see. I'm kind of curious as to what they are saying in the chat, but I can't imagine this being a serious game. As, I mean, both players, they're just kind of, they're playing at a casual pace. 68 APM in a Korean game, that never happens. And 5 battlecruisers as well never happens. So they're going to be spawning right now. I'm not sure exactly where they're spawning. There they are, Raven, oh, he's going the Raven Battlecruiser Rush. You got to watch out for this. Make sure, you know, you're prepared for when they attack you with Mass Raven and Mass Battlecruiser, which is something you do not ever see, which is why these SCVs are going to sacrifice their lives because they're super bored. They need to free up supply for more Battlecruisers. Here they go right now. Oh, Baneling right there kills all of them, and the Banelings finish off the job. So now that is going to free up the supply, though, for the Terran player. He's going Viking, Battlecruiser, Raven, which Ravens actually with the Seeker Missiles can be very devastating. I mean, the Seeker Missile does cost 125 energy, yes, but if you use them in the right clumps of units, they instantly pay for themselves just by killing 1 or 2 units. Now, these SCVs attacking the poor little drones over here that are just trying to mine gas. There is nothing fun about worker harassment with other workers. So here comes the attack right now. I don't know if our Zerg player is going to be ready. Look how many larvae he has stored up at each of these hatcheries. I'm pretty sure that's like the max amount of larvae you can get. He is still injecting, though, for all it's worth. No! The command center has gone down. Although he does have a lot of SCVs over here, so it doesn't even matter. And what is our Zerg player actually going to do? Is he going to neural parasite? Yes, he is. Neural parasiting 4 of them so far. 5, now 6. Now he's actually neural parasited every single one. He's using them to focus fire each other down, but they do not do as much damage. He is trying to kill them as quickly as he possibly can with the neural parasites, and it looks like he's demoting some of them, but I don't know exactly what. I don't even know who's winning this battle right now, as he's trying to kill the infestors. There he goes. They are finally going to die. So most of these doctors did survive. However, look at this. It's like a rainbow. It goes from dark red, orange, yellow to green. And so he possibly needs to get out something other than the infestors. This queen has a very low chance of surviving. She did indeed die. And what is our Zerg player making right now? He is making corruptors, which is exactly 24 corruptors to be exact, which is basically what he needs. That should be able to counteract everything that is right in his base right now. Depending on where those corruptors spawn. Look how many of these. This may be like all the corruptors just spawning all at the same time here at this expansion, because he does have so many larvae and so many faces going back and forth. I feel like not only are they battling in StarCraft 2, they are also battling in depressed looking faces. So I don't know if it's going to be enough, though, to defend his main base, because his main base is dead. So all sad faces aside, he has no more main base. And so here come the corruptors right now. They do have +3 attacks, so versus massive, they're going to be doing 26 damage. So look how quickly he will be able to kill these. They are just going to melt away. Goodbye, Battlecruisers. It's been really good knowing you, although we do see some Seeker missiles going down, and they are chasing. I don't know if they're going to catch up or not. They are getting dangerously close. Oh, they're going to group up. That is bad news. You do not want that to happen. A little bit of a misclick there when the Seeker missile was able to do their thing, and I said they were going to counteract this, but with 4-point defense drones and the Seeker missiles going down, it may just be too much for our Zerg player to handle. So not often you see Battlecruiser, Raven, Viking, and let alone have it actually work. But for now, it is going to work. The point defense drones being ridiculously annoying. And there we go. So they're laughing about it. They have so much energy left on these point defense drones that basically he needs to try to intercept the Battlecruisers, which is exactly what he could do right now. He could actually kill the majority of these, but the Ravens now are going to turn around and defend against this. Although there goes the point defense drone trying to still focus down the Battlecruiser, but the Corruptors are getting blasted away. It looks like he may actually fly in range of this one missile turret. And that missile turret actually getting a kill there, even though he is placed in the most awkward of awkward spots. And so our Terran player does have 8,000 minerals. Our Protoss, our Zerg player, man, this game's so long, I don't even know what their races are anymore. I can't imagine our Zerg player doing anything. Although he is getting a lot of siege tanks, apparently. A lot of siege tanks and a lot of Vikings. So I'm not sure. Actually, wow. I am rubbing my non-existent goatee right now and thinking about just how many units this Zerg player has, and if he gets out just mass Viking, he may actually stand a chance. So this Terran versus Zerg is getting turned into a Terran versus Terran, and look at this, we have Vikings and Corruptors working side by side. And that's a lot of Battlecruisers, though, and they all have enough energy for their Yomada, so that could do a devastating amount of damage. He scans the Nidus network, which hasn't actually been used at all this game, really. I mean, it got used once, but it didn't do that much damage. And so here comes the Doom army, a bunch of Battlecruisers. Just looking at the units tab, we have 11 Battlecruisers, 9 Ravens, and 8 Vikings. So that's going to be very difficult to defend against. But he is making a lot of Vikings in his own defense. He does have quite a few. He does not have the attack upgrade, though. which these battlecruisers and Vikings are fully upgraded, not in any of this just 3-0. They are fully upgraded 3-3, making them extremely powerful, even modding these few remaining units down here. So I'm not sure what the siege tanks are for, but the scan does reveal exactly what is going on. And the point defense drones just being so annoying. Look how many point defense drones he just put down. I don't even know how many that is, but it is a lot. No shot is going to get through there. And so right now, TheWInd is going to try and win with the Vikings. I don't know if it's actually going to work. He can't even kill these because there's so much of the point defense drones here. But wow, Yamada's on top of all the corruptors. Corruptors are the good ones because they do the additional damage to the massive, although the Vikings do have that range of 9. And so there is 17 Vikings left now for TheWInd. He's just lost one right there, of course, but regardless, he's trying to do as much damage as he possibly can. Volley after volley on top of these Valkyries, which he is softening them up quite a bit. Just looking at the production tab, he is continuing to make, or actually no, yeah, he is making 6 more Vikings on the way, but these look like they have been intercepted. So I think TheWInd is not going to be able to beat the Terran opponent with his own units. He could try, I guess. These units are just sitting here not even doing anything because they cannot shoot air. So that is not fun, but he is trying to micro these as best he can. And he is kiting them around to some sort of success, but look at this, going for the reactors right away. This prevents these reinforcements from spawning too quickly. And so this build order, I wouldn't recommend trying to kill a Terran player as Zerg while using all Terran units, especially when these Zerg units are just kind of sitting here getting killed. This is like a shooting gallery. Like literally, this is a battlecruiser shooting gallery. You should have to pay to do stuff like this. And killing banelings, killing roaches, it is a slaughter down there. And there is only a couple battlecruisers left and 1 or 2 Vikings, but still the starports are going down. So there are not going to be that many Vikings now on the field. These dudes should at least just run themselves into these buildings over here. And wow, he actually does have the upgrade to make the bunkers look sexy time. That is something you do not see ever do you see that. He finally decides to attack here. He could kill a planetary fortress. Yes, he does, but that planetary fortress, his sole purpose was to die, basically, because there's just so many minerals going back and forth in this game. Now, the red Terran player has 5,000 minerals. Our blue Zerg player, not to be confused with blue Terran, has 1,000. He is not mining from anywhere, so I definitely think this game is absolutely over. This must have been a fun game, but I really do appreciate you guys translating the text for me, and I will know afterwards what exactly this is from, because this is just silly at this point. And I had fun watching it, though. I can't imagine TheWInd coming back from this at all. He tried to beat Terran at his own game by getting out mass Vikings, but they were all too late. Even SCVs over here going to be attacking. Yeah, I do have a sped up simply because I can't imagine anything else happening. Although he was able to kill that battlecruiser with these couple remaining Vikings because of that extremely long range. And he does have a couple of Thors over here to kill off these battlecruisers. I think he will be able to kill both battlecruisers, no problem. But he's not going to have anything to kill the 200 supply. Look, he's already at 200 supply. And as soon as that battlecruiser dies, he's already at 200 supply again because he has units queued up. And there's a bunch of Vikings, there's some SCVs, Marines, Siege Tanks, Ravens, just everything happening in this game. And, okay, I am definitely going to have to take a break after this game, because this game, ridiculously long, 55 minutes so far in this game, and there's the GG. Wow, now I can take a breather. I think I'm just going to go pass out. This game is interesting because it was Terran versus Terran there at the end, even though it was obviously a Terran versus Zerg. So anyways, that game was silly. I don't even know what to think, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. I need something to drink. Oh my goodness.